Alright guys, we're back again. This time with Marksmanship Hunter. Marksmanship Hunter has a crap ton of changes for when you just log into the game. So all of you Marks Hunters are going to have a field day on day 1 of Legion. So we'll get to the basics first before we get to talents. We'll just go through the spellbook a little bit. The biggest thing is you still got aim shot, you still got arcane shot, you no longer have steady shot or anything like that. Your aspects completely redesigned. You're going to get a whole bunch of new shots as well. You still have disengage, you no longer have deterrence, and other things. So let's get right into it. You still got your misdirection. Your true shot is no longer a aura, it is now a cooldown. It's a 3-minute cooldown, increases haste by 40% and a chance for your targets to be marked by 100% for 15 seconds. The whole thing about marking is very simple. You now have a passive called Seek Vulnerabilities. When you hit a target with arcane shot or multi-shot, you have a chance to mark that target with Hunter's Mark. So you no longer have to cast Hunter's Mark with a hard cast or anything like that. It's now a passive that you're just basically going to put up on everything as you're shooting stuff anyway. And like I said, True Shot Aura will help with that. You still have your counter shot, no big changes there. Your new aspect of the frickin' turtle. You will deflect all attacks and take 30% less damage for 8 seconds, but you cannot attack anything. So it's basically just one large shit is hitting the fan, I'm about to die cooldown. Looks pretty great. Nice little green shell over you. I imagine all of you going turtle, turtle, turtle in your heads or out loud every time you pop that. It would be the most fantastic thing ever. Like I said, with aspects, they are now cooldowns as well. That one's a 3-minute one. Your aspect of the cheetah is now a 3-minute cooldown as well. No longer clicking it on and forgetting to have it on and have everybody on the raid yelling at you for having cheetah on or having pack on or any of that crap. You now just pop your cooldown, you run faster, 90% for 3 seconds, and then 30% for another 9 seconds afterwards. So you get lots of movement speed, super, not as super, but still pretty fast, all kinds of speed stuff. Both 3-minute cooldowns on that. Those are your only aspects now. You've got, I do have the bow. Basically what you're going to get from the bow is that every time you cast aim shot, there's a chance you'll shoot off 6 wind arrows at your target as well. So basically some free damage. And then the first artifact part is a new ability that you will get called Wind Burst. That is a 45-second cooldown. 2.77 second cast with my current gear. Deals quite a bit of damage, 33,000 damage, and it has some helpful abilities for the rest of your raid group. It will leave behind a trail of wind. I will show it to you here. Just make some wind on the ground, and everybody in your raid group who runs through it will run faster. How about that? You're actually helping people for once in your life, hunters. For once in your lives. Barrage is still around, but it's a talent now. Your other new one, Mark Shot. You rapidly fire a shot up to 3 targets. Anything that's affected by Hunter's Mark basically has a chance to be the one shot. You'll deal some damage. You can use it while moving. It will also expose your vulnerabilities in the target, snaring them for 15 seconds, and increasing all aim shot damage done to the target for 25%. Lasts for 10 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. The animation for it currently sucks. Hopefully it gets better, but it basically doesn't look like it's doing anything. The same thing happens with another one of your new shots right now, Bursting Shot. There's nothing to show you. That was it. It literally had no animation whatsoever. But the ability itself works. It just does a little bit of damage, knocks the target back, and basically disorients them for a couple of seconds. So it's kind of useful. Not much else. talent wise, you have a truckload of new talents. You're seeing these little minions of mine come out. Those are one of your new 100 talents called Dark Ranger. Basically, go down Sylvanas' path of things, and every once in a while, you'll just summon a little dude to come out and help. He will automatically taunt. They change. You get the bird, you get the bone serpent, get all kinds of random pets, if you will. They will automatically taunt your target for you and deal damage to them. That's pretty much all they do right now. They are a little slow in reacting, so that is a little bit of a bug. That even though you're just going nuts on a damaged target, they will just stand there for like 5 seconds before they actually do anything sometimes. So a little bit of a bug there. Sure, that'll be fixed at some point. So we'll go through the talents. You have a crap ton of them now. A crap ton. So survival, we all know, is changing to a melee spec. We'll get into that later in another recording. But a lot of the abilities from survival are now moving over to MarksHunters, just to keep them alive. People like some of those things. So your first talent tier now includes Black Arrow. It has 3 charges. It will do the same thing, 14,000 damage over 26 seconds. It can stack, so if you want to use all 3 targets on the same target, you can. Or you can spread the dot around with the charges as much as you want. 18-second recharge on them, so not too bad there. Steady focus will just help you with your regen. Every time you use aim shot twice in a row, your focus regen will increase by 50% for 10 seconds. Arcane shot, like I said, is now basically steady shot but instant cast. It generates 5 focus and deals some damage, so you'll use that as your main focus regen as well. True aim is the passive as well. Every successive arcane, marked, or aimed shot used to attack the same target will deal 2% more damage to the target, stacking up 20 times. So on raid bosses, I assume you will be able to get that 20 stack pretty damn well. So only one target at a time on those stacks as well. So if you have raid boss with the stacks on it and an ad comes, the ad won't get those stacks until the raid boss drops those stacks. So you'll have to be a little bit careful on that, but no big deal. Second tier, you get dash as a passive now. Cheetah basically increased by another 3 seconds. If you wanted the extra movement speed, you needed to run faster, longer, you could go with that. Fire Strider, when any of your attacks cause a crit, there's a chance the cooldown on disengage will be reduced by 10%, which as a MarksHunter, you guys are going to be critting like crazy because you're built around crit. So post haste, disengage will also free you from all movement and parrying effects and increase your movement speed by 60% for 8 seconds. So if you just wanted to add some utility to your own disengage, you could, and move on from there. The next tier, you've got piercing shots now as a passive. Your critical strikes with arcane shot, mark shot, and aim shot cause the target to bleed for an additional 30% of the initial damage over 8 seconds. Exotic munitions comes over. They all do the same thing still, so they haven't exactly changed the ammo types or anything, but it's now on the 3rd tier for MarksHunters to use and play with. Broadside is another new talent. Your aim shot will now also hit all vulnerable targets for 6k damage as well. So basically makes your aim shot an AoE, provided you put your vulnerability up on other targets. So it could be useful in some situations. Camouflage is no longer baseline. It's now a talent choice. It's a 2-minute cooldown. Do the same thing. You go stealth for a minute. You'll heal 2% of your health every 1 second, and then your first ranged attack will deal some extra damage. So don't believe the animation changed. Nope, still the same animation, still all ghostly like. You got your regular sting still there, put something to sleep, yay. Binding shot still saying it does the same thing, nothing changed there. Next tier, all brand new again. Light them up. Targets affected by your flare take 10% extra damage for all your attacks. So Some utility added to your little flare if you want it. Do some extra damage while it's there. You have heightened vulnerability as a 20-second cooldown. Your next mark shot applies 3 stacks of vulnerability to all marked targets. So if you've been able to AoE enough to get some marked targets up, you could pop that, put a vulnerability on a ton of stuff, do some extra damage, have fun. Headshot is another new shot. It's quite interesting because it goes from either 20 to 100 focus, so it can take a little bit of your focus, or it can just drain the whole damn thing. It will deal a little bit of damage to the primary target, but then a crap ton of damage to anything else between you and that target. So if you can line it up, get a lot of stuff in between, there it is, ton of damage. Very nice, very nice. But like I said, it has the chance to take 100 focus from you. May not always be the best thing for you, but it could definitely work out. Your next tier, you have 2 essentially AoE choices and then 1 single target. Murderer Crows is on there, still does the same thing. Crows come, eat faces, they go away. Barrage still does the same thing, shoots wildly, hits everything, pulls everything, train boss, all that stuff. Good thing. There's a little bone serpent, isn't he cool? So, and you can have multiples. They all come out and see multiples. You got volley. Volley's there now. Brought it back for all you who loved volley. Get me out of combat, you stupid little pet. There. Shoot it out. There it comes. Drops on down. You no longer have to channel it, which is kind of nice. It just drops on its own. Just mark a spot, everything comes flying down. Like I said, Dark Ranger, the new 100 talent passive, brings out those little dark minions, and they will, like I said, taunt and attack your current target. So if you still want some pets, just not all the time, you could use that one. Could come in handy. Just going through the artifact quest line, I had like 5 of them out at the same time, so it doesn't seem like they're limited to 1 or 2 or anything like that. You have a chance of getting quite a bit of them out all at once, especially things that last, that can live a lot longer. So there were times during the artifact quest line that I got up to, I believe, 5 out at once. So I don't know if that'll change. We'll see, probably depending on raid testing, how many you can actually have out at once, things like that. But for now, it looks pretty nice. Kill flip adds another extra bit to your disengage. 8 seconds after you disengage, you will deal 50% more damage. So again, if you wanted to add more utility to your disengage, you know you're going to use it a lot for a particular raid encounter, for movement or whatever. Disengage, you can add 50% more damage afterwards, just to add some of that let me kill you now type stuff. Lock and load moves over again from the old survival. Your ranged auto attacks will have a 5% chance to trigger lock and load, causing your next 2 aim shots to cost no focus and be instant. So pretty good increase on that as well. Like I said, I'm not doing any numbers testing yet. I just want to go over changes so that people can see them. I'll play around with all the talents later on for numbers purposes and things like that, of course, but for now, like I said, just doing the artifact opener and getting all that stuff. Wind burst looks pretty fun, has some utility to it, long cast, but might be worth it. Help everybody in the raid with some movement, make yourselves useful. Don't forget turtle. Start screaming turtle, turtle, turtle every time you use it. I gotta hear it. Somebody's gonna do it, I know it. Acceleration still there, 50% max health heal. Like I said, cooldowns now on Cheetah. It's only for you, but whatever. And yeah, hopefully they'll fix some more animations. They're missing quite a bit. You know, like I said, right now bursting shot has none. You don't really know it went off except for the fact some guys got knocked back a little bit. And the channel on Markshot is extremely fast, and I don't think it's supposed to be that fast. And the actual shot itself is really, it just looks like a regular shot. It looks like an auto shot. It does not look like anything special whatsoever. So You can kind of hear the sound animation that there are at times 3 quick shots, but there is no visual representation of anything coming out faster or anything like that. So hopefully they'll get on that and fix it. I'm sure if it's not on the forums already, I'll put it there, all that kind of stuff in the bug reports. But those are the 2 big things. Headshot looks like it might be a lot of fun. If you can line up some good amount of guys between you and a raid boss, or you and some other ads, line that sucker up and do a crap ton of damage. Obviously it did 3.4 million to the dummy, but the dummy is a level 80 dummy because I'm in Iron Forge to get away from other people, and the raid dummy is kind of useless because you can barely hit it when you're only at level 100 because it is already scaled up for raiding. So as you can see with the talents, tons of changes for you guys. You're losing some shots, you're gaining new shots. If you guys have questions, need to know anything, let me know. I'll try and look it up for you when I go into actual testing. I know Elmer wants to see the lock and load procs, obviously, how good they're going to be. We've already talked about that. Black Arrow still has kind of the same animation. So there you go, stacked up 3 times. Oh, if you didn't notice, by the way, guys, there's no more reagent for switching talents, and that is one of the things they are working on. So you'll be able to swap talents anytime you want, as long as we're not in combat, obviously. So take advantage of that moving forward in Legion. There's no reason not to swap talents now. So anyway, we'll get another class out later on. And like I said, I'll be posting them on the website for you guys. Just leave some messages, comments, whatever. Let me know exactly what you guys want to see later on as I'm making more of these. I'm just going to be doing the introductions first, what's changed when you first log in day 1, what you're going to see different, and then we'll go into more in-depth stuff later on. So take it easy, and remember, you're a milkshake. Be proud of who you are. Be proud.